officially been 1 year since I started making YouTube videos. I wanted to make a video to sort of mark the occasion and address a lot of the comments I get from people who express an interest or a curiosity about what it's like to make YouTube videos and maybe considering if they want to make YouTube videos themselves. I'm going to be excessively honest about my experience thus far so that someone who is interested can go into it knowing what they're getting into. Although I'll add the caveat that this is just my experience, and every single channel and every single creator has a different experience. There are several reasons why I decided to start a YouTube channel. I think the biggest reason was in the course of 1 month, I had graduated college, I got married, and I moved across the country. It was a very busy month. And I feel like I just crossed all the major life milestones off my list all at the same time. And after the dust had kind of settled from that, I was left with no goals because at that point, my whole life had been a series of goals, like graduate high school, graduate college, get a job, get married. I guess getting married wasn't really a goal, it just happened. But I am a very driven person and I need a challenge. And I figured that this was as good a challenge as any. I also felt like YouTube gave me the opportunity to create a form of media that is holistically me. I feel like I can't really put all that much of myself into a sweater. Like you can put a lot of yourself into a sweater, but I feel like that didn't feel quite right and I couldn't put all of myself into a painting or a piece of writing. But with YouTube, it's the closest I've gotten to create something tangible, visual, just something that was as me as possible. On top of that, I wanted something that I could do where I could start out being terrible at it and figure out how to get good at it. And I still am enjoying the challenge because there's so much to learn and so much to improve at. I am nowhere near where I want to be in my YouTube creation. Now, I had dozens of reasons not to start a YouTube channel. The legitimate reasons that I thought of are kind of crazy looking back on because I would write them in my journal. But the reasons I came up with was 1, I'm not pretty enough for YouTube. 2, I didn't have any equipment. I have a camera that technically can record videos. 3, I didn't feel like I had an energetic personality. I didn't feel like I was naturally funny. And 4, I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. Like I'm not an expert at anything. I'm not teaching you anything. I was like, what's the why? Why are people gonna watch my channel? And there was only one key reason that I think tipped me over the edge to actually making YouTube videos, and that was I wanted to. I wanted to see if I could do it. Once I started, why did I keep doing YouTube? There are several reasons. I think a weird reason is I felt like my projects had more meaning to them and there was more built-in drive to actually work and complete projects, and not from a pressure standpoint, but because I really wanted to. I just wanted to do them more. I haven't even figured out entirely why yet at this point. Another reason I keep making YouTube videos, and I'm not gonna lie, there is a level of financial incentive. And at this point, I have fully paid for, I think for the most part, all the equipment that I purchased in order to make YouTube videos the way that I wanted to make them, which included a new phone for recording, a new tripod, a computer for editing, and then I do have monthly expenses as well for editing softwares. So I did all the math on everything, and basically at this point, I'm making $6 to $7 an hour approximately. So it's not a lot, but it's also not nothing. Another reason is that I am obsessed with challenging myself. I mentioned this before, I need something to work towards, and this has really scratched that itch. I'm feeling incredibly motivated to get better at and learn more about this whole world. And the last reason I keep doing this is that there's been joy, real moments of real joy that I have been able to catch on camera. And it's been kind of magical to watch some of those moments back.
My absence, I'll be surely missing you. I've been working every day, and I sure hope your love is too. I never give you cause to doubt me. Hope you always think about me. And if you think I'm gonna find another, it ain't true. Keep the home fire burning while I'm gone. I'll be back to fan the flame, it won't be long. Just a while and then I'm back where I belong. Keep the home fire burning while I'm gone.
All right, now for some of the juicy stuff, the dark side of YouTube. And in this part, I feel like some of the things I'm going to mention are going to be a little bit disappointing to some viewers. Like, I think people might be a little bit disappointed in me. Regarding the dark side of YouTube, I have a couple of points. So the first one is people pleasing will absolutely kill you. Another thing on like the dark side of YouTube is some people will straight up tell you how to run your channel and they will frame it as advice. This bugs the heck out of me so much. Such a pet peeve. An example of this that I've given before is the comment of, your voice is really gravelly and it's hard to listen to. You should talk more smoothly so that we can enjoy your videos more. Another one I've gotten is, your intros are jarring. You should do smoother transitions so that people like it more. To me, it's just so annoying. Like, how can someone be so entitled as to expect a content creator to cater to their preferences and fully believe that their preferences are reflective of the greater collective? That's such a narcissistic way to engage with someone's content, is it not? I see this on other content creators' videos all the time. It is not just something that comes to my channel, and it equally annoys me when I see it on other people's videos. To me, it's equivalent to walking up to a painter and saying, hey, that shade of blue is really bright. You should really tone that down a bit so that we can all enjoy the painting more. And the end-all be-all rule that I will repeat to myself over and over again is, if you do not like the way that I make my videos, do not watch them. In fact, I insist. You are not invited to this party if you want to change the party. It is okay to want different things. There is never going to be a YouTube channel that exists that meets every single desire of yours because someone else is making it. I have been thinking of this quote often, which I think is helping me come to terms with this question a little bit, and I want to read it to make sure I get it right, but it's, not every mind or body will experience art in the same way, but every mind and body is entitled to the experience. And I think where I stand now is that I can control what I put out, but I cannot control how people perceive it. The next point, we only have 2 more until we're done with the dark side of YouTube, and then we'll move on to some less dramatic sections. Being on YouTube is really creepy. Being on any form of social media that is public is creepy. If you participate in creating any sort of content, or you're thinking about it, I highly recommend checking out Sid's internet safety videos. She has a whole playlist. I will link them in my description. Highly, highly recommend, because I think a lot of people have not been properly educated on internet safety, and it shows. There are some things I do for my own internet safety, because even if your videos are private, I think it's important to exercise and make it a habit to always be practicing internet safety. So some things I do in that world include actively lying. I do actively lie. I don't lie about anything that I think would compromise the authenticity of my channel, but I do lie about stuff so that people can't figure out where I live. For one thing, I went to a yarn store. I implied that it was my local yarn shop. It is not my local yarn shop. I don't do outdoor shots, especially in areas where I go frequently. Like, when I've done outdoor shots, it's in places that I've been like maybe once before. The reason for this, and I will link this as well, is because of the Find Tim challenge videos. There is a dude that will set a timer and he will have a live feed. I think he posts these on like TikTok or YouTube or something, where it's just his face and then a background, and it'll just be like plain bushes. Sometimes it takes under 5 minutes for someone, the challenge is for someone to find him in person that found him from the live, like found his location from the live. It is creepy how quickly someone can find his location, even when it's just plain bushes or just a grass field with no distinguishing markers. And that is why you don't film outdoors. I'm just never honest about location in general. I've mentioned that I live in a city that I don't live in, several cities that I don't live in. I'll say sometimes that something's really far when it's actually really close, or something's really close when it's far, or I'll say that it's close when it's close, just to like throw people off. And my goal there is just, if someone was trying to figure out my location by all the clues that I drop in my YouTube channel, they would have dots all over the Pacific Northwest. I mean, right down to the layout of my apartment. The only reason I show different rooms in my apartment is because I know for a fact that this exact blueprint was extremely popular in the early 2000s. So no one could also figure out where I live based on the layout of my apartment. And the last thing is, my P.O. box is not the closest P.O. box to me. It takes effort to get to, and that's why I don't leave the P.O. box address in the description of my videos. I provide my email, and if someone wants to mail something to my P.O. box, I want them to email me, because I don't just show up to my P.O. box because it's not convenient to get to. So I just want to know, like, oh yeah, I should get a little bit of warning that I should be going to my P.O. box to check if something's there. Like, if you wanted to send me something, for example, you don't have to tell me what you're sending or any details. Just email me saying, hey, I would like your P.O. box address. I will email it to you. And if you just respond back with like, hey, this should be here in a month or whatever. I know that that's not the most convenient way of doing things, but it's just a safety protocol thing. On the bright side of YouTube, because it's not all doom and gloom, that was literally all the doom and gloom stuff I could think of. Like, there might be a couple more like nitpicky things here and there, but there is a significant bright side for me. One really good thing that's come out of me making YouTube videos is I've become much more confident in myself, a little bit more self-assured, and it's actually been noticed at my work. So my coworkers, they do not know that I have a YouTube channel. I would like to keep it that way. If you ever guess where I work, please don't tell anyone. That's my nightmare. But some of my coworkers have actually said to me since I started creating this YouTube channel, like, hey, you've become a lot more outspoken at work and you're sharing your opinions more. It's really awesome to see you coming out of your shell a little bit. So it's been really cool to see people like noticing that happening. And I know for a fact that that is a direct result of me doing YouTube videos. I personally feel for the first time that I am fulfilled by a passion. I think this is something that I'm incredibly passionate about and I really enjoy doing. I think that in itself is reason enough for me to keep doing this. And I also have a lot more respect for content creators right now. At one point, I think I was really jealous of people who like make a full living off of being influencers, and now I want no part in that. That sounds awful to me. I'm almost a little bit sad for some of the influencers out there and the life that they've unwittingly trapped themselves in, especially lifestyle influencers or people that talk more about their personal life. You're trapping yourself into always sharing personal details about your life to the public. That is not a life that I would want for myself. At what point do you have a hard time distinguishing between reality and your cultivated reality? But on the brighter side, I find that I'm enjoying YouTube more, and there are certain channels that I'm enjoying more because I understand the amount of effort that goes into some things that they're doing. In the way that like learning about art makes you appreciate art more, learning about literature makes you appreciate literature more. I think learning and experiencing what it's like to actually make YouTube videos, when I watch some people, I'm just like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? That's amazing. So there are lots of like really plus sides, I think, to making YouTube videos, but I feel like the plus sides are a lot more personal, whereas the dark sides can be a little bit more universal, at least from my perspective. So those are some of the bright sides for me. And the last section here is like, what are my plans moving forward? What does the future of this channel look like? And while I can't say for certain what the future of this channel will look like, because I just can't predict the future and what's going to happen, I do know what my intentions are moving forward. So if you are a fan of this channel and would like to know like what to expect, this is the section for you. The first thing is that At the beginning, I would have these dreams, like actual dreams at night when I slept, where my YouTube channel would get millions of views overnight and I would be so popular and my life would never be the same. And I would wake up being like, oh, that would be so cool if that happened. And now I had one video do like well, and by well, I mean it has like half as many views as Jenna Phipp's like least popular video. But that was enough for me to be like, nope, I do not want that. I do not want to be that popular on YouTube. Not even if I could is out of the question. I don't think I want it because it was so stressful. I more want to cultivate and lean into this being just a quiet corner of YouTube, because then I feel like I have more freedom to do whatever I want. I don't want to find a way to maximize my success on YouTube. I'm now more focused on how can I enjoy the process more? How can I enjoy this more? And that way there's a certain longevity to my YouTube career or life here on YouTube if I'm like actively enjoying it. And there was someone, and again, I can never remember who said what, but there was someone that said at one point, you shouldn't be trying to work hard. You should be trying to work fun, like trying to work lovingly. Find a way to work that you actively enjoy instead of just working hard. Because if you enjoy what you're doing, it's a lot more likely that you're going to output some better stuff and you're going to have fun doing it, which is kind of the point. Like, isn't that the best possible end result? Something I will be doing is, I think, at least for now, is quitting Instagram. I actively have like barely touched my Instagram for this channel. I forgot the password and I logged out, so I can't even get back into Instagram. I'm sure I could figure it out if I wanted to, but I'm just not gonna touch that. The sad thing is I loved, like, if people would tag me in their stories on Instagram, that was so fun. That was so fun because I got to see people post videos of like their cats watching my cats on their TV, which is just like so funny. It's so funny. I loved it, but it's not worth it to me for the stress of being on Instagram. It's not the kind of content that I like. I don't want more of it in my life. I don't want to be a part of the short form content, always chasing the trend, making everything as aesthetic as humanly possible crowd. It's just not for me. And I know it's not as convenient, but right now the best way to get in touch with me is through email, breathingyarn@gmail.com. I have all that information in the description of every video. I added also like my Ravelry page so you can see what kind of things I have favorited on Ravelry. And I'm gonna get better about posting my finished objects on Ravelry as well. Especially now that I've kind of relinquished the pressure of having to put things on Instagram. Now I can just focus on using Ravelry as a catalog of what I've done instead of trying to make Instagram like doing full photo shoots for every finished object. It's just too much work. If you do like post a story of like your pet watching my YouTube channel, just like if you're feeling up to it, not everyone is brave enough to do this. Email me. Could you like screenshot it and email it to me? Because that's just the cutest thing and I love seeing those. And regarding email, I don't respond to emails like the same day. I do not have a very fast turnaround time for emails. Your girl's got a full-time job and it's been so hectic lately at my work that I have had zero energy for anything productive at the end of the day. So basically, YouTube is just the thing I do on the weekends at this point. Something else for the future of this channel is that I will continue making videos outside of my niche. So I've done a couple sewing videos, some journaling videos, and I'm gonna continue doing those because that plays into the like doing what I enjoy more. Because the best way for me to enjoy this is making videos about things that I'm interested in and excited about. Despite the fact that making videos outside of your niche, and for me, my like niche would be knitting. It's technically a like growth killer and a no-no, but it's more fun. And this is not a source of significant income for me, and I would like to maintain that flexibility. Something that I'm not sure if I've shared before or not is that I have decided, I reserve the right to change my mind about this at any point in time, that I am not accepting any sponsorship offers. I have received dozens of sponsorship offers so far. I get a couple a month and it's very sweet, but every time I respond saying, hey, right now my YouTube channel is just a hobby and I'm not ready to actually transition it into being a business, it just doesn't feel right. Like I can't put my finger exactly on why, but it doesn't feel like it's never felt right when people reach out with sponsorship opportunities and I just don't want to do it. And it's actually a lot of effort. I did not realize going through and making a sponsored video is a lot more work than I thought it was. And so I think it only makes sense if you are a more successful channel and you have access to a management team who can negotiate contracts and do all the sponsorship stuff and like do a lot of that work for you. Because if you're just an independent person doing sponsored videos, like that's a lot more work than I expected. So I'm not saying I'll never go down that road, but for now I do like the path that I'm currently on. And I think I also need to get over the whole thinking that people are mad at me or thinking people are going to get upset with me in situations where it's genuinely all in my head. I think people don't care as much as I think they do. I think I put too much pressure on myself and I overthink things. I need to work on that. Something I am going to continue doing is my current cadence. I've been doing this for months, and that is releasing 3 videos on, 1 video off in a single month. Usually it's releasing 3 videos. On occasion, if I have more energy, I'll release an extra one. There is an exception that I'm working on in a couple months here, but other than that, for the most part, I think that's going to maintain the case. That cadence has felt good to me. It feels right. And the last channel thing, future of this channel, is I'm going to continue doing it. I think I like this channel. I really enjoy it. If I ever step away from YouTube, I will let everyone know. I will try not to just go dark one day. I don't think content creators, I don't think they owe me an explanation of why they're leaving, and I don't think they owe me saying that they're leaving, but it is nice when they put a little message of hey, stuff has come up in life, I won't be releasing videos anymore, bye. So if I ever stop YouTube, you'll know about it if you're subscribed to me. So that's it, 1 year of YouTube. That's all my takeaways. In essence, I really love this. It's taken some time, and it will continue taking time to figure out how to do this in a way that I enjoy the most, and I'm really enjoying that challenge of figuring it out. I have so many videos planned out, which is the hardest thing. I have a million video ideas on this huge spreadsheet, and there's no way I'll ever be able to do them all, but I want to. So I am very excited. I am really looking forward to the videos I have coming out for the rest of the year, and next year's lineup is looking really good too. And I love all the video ideas I get in the comments. So you're awesome. I'm glad you exist. I hope you're glad that you exist. I hope you're glad that you woke up today. If you have a living animal near you that is domesticated and docile, make sure that you give them some love. Don't just find a random raccoon in the woods and try to give it a hug. And as usual, do whatever you want. I'm not your boss. Have a great day. No, even that's telling you what to do. Have a day. I will force you to do that. You have to have a day. You have to exist today. You can't just stop existing. You're not allowed to do that.
Open my eyes, I slept through the day. Slept through the day, feeling uneasy, I push it away. Push it away. Last night was fun, don't feel like today. Feel like today, let's do it again, let's go on a date. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna take